What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's the Tech Expert, and today we got a very cool review of the S24 FE. Now, this launched not that long ago. In fact, it launched pretty much about a month ago. Now, I wanted to get this because I've been a fan, a fan of the Samsung S20 line that has the Fan Edition. So the FE stands for Fan Edition, and it is one of my favorite lines on the Samsung Galaxy lineup. Now, this is not really an unboxing because nowadays unboxings don't really come with much, right? They come with a USB-C to USB-C and a SIM tool. That's it, right? And then the box. So this is more of a unpeeling, right? So let's take a look at the S24 FE right here. So let's just talk about colors and specs. I have the gray here, but this phone comes in 4 different colors. You got blue, graphite, gray, and the mint color. As for its specs, there is a 128 gigabyte version currently on sale for $649. There is a 256 gigabyte version that is for $709. Now, there is a 512 gigabyte version. Unfortunately, it does not seem that it's available in the US. Kind of weird. I don't know. But I looked, like the Philippines Samsung store had the 512 gigabyte version. Like I said, it's not available in the US currently. Hopefully we see that in the future because 128 gigs is not a lot by today's standard. And I think the new norm is around 512 gigabytes. So we should see that here. There should be no excuses. But beyond that, it comes at a reasonable price, right? Starts at $649. So let's unpeel it a little bit. Oh, that's a fail unpeeling. Let's see if we can save it. Can we save it? Very nice. So we kind of saved that. Let's toss that aside. Now, this does come with the new Exynos 2400E. It is a 4 nanometer 10 core chip. No Snapdragon. So we'll see how that kind of performs in the later benchmarks. But yeah, no Snapdragon this time. Whereas the S23 FE still had the Snapdragon Gen 1 chip. Now, it comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM for all the versions. And it has a 4700 milliamp battery. This is slightly larger than previous. It also has a 50 megapixel main camera, and this phone is very much AI focused. So as you can see here, we don't really see too much AI, but when we get to the software, we will. So just a little bit about the physical tour around this device. Again, we're going with the flat display. We have aluminum all around the sides. A little bit of a ding there. And then the antenna band. The SIM is up here. We have USB-C and a very interesting looking speakerphone. So overall, it looks very nice actually in the hands. A couple things. It has a glass back. So if you recall, right, earlier versions of the Fan Edition had glastic, not glass, but now they have glass. So I'm actually kind of appreciative of that, even though I know most of us just have a phone case. So I'm not really that sure, how many people are gonna have, bare glass. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the back and the sides. Now, the front glass is very interesting. They actually went with the Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. So they've upgraded. This is not your normal glass here. This is the Victus Plus glass. So this should be quite durable against drops, impact, and whatnot. So very, very cool. Now I'm gonna power this on right now, and I charged it a little bit. And let's see here. So it's booting up pretty quick on boot up. And you know, it feels really light in my hands. Wow. Feels really light in my hands. Feels really good. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set it up, and I'll catch you guys in a second. All right, so got it set up, and pretty much it was always seamless. Samsung's setup is very intuitive and very easy to navigate. There wasn't anything that really makes any Samsung phone difficult to set up. And in fact, it was really easy to just, you know, upload your data from your old phone, which is always awesome. And I really appreciate how simple Samsung makes it, because switching to a new phone, my friend recently switched to a new iPhone. He has so many things that are just unsynced, and it's just a mess. But every time I sync up with my old phone, especially with Samsung, it's always amazing. So let's take a look at this display here. So this is their 6.7 full HD plus display. It has 120 hertz with a 100 or 1900 nits peak brightness. Now let's take a look at this video, and yes, this is my video. We're gonna run this on advanced and 1440p. It looks pretty good. As you can see, now it's supposed to have slightly smaller bezels, as you can see on the edges, right, where viewing is really important. Where you're holding here, right, sometimes the sides the top and the bottom don't matter too much. It is smaller than the predecessor, which is the S24 FE. This bezel edge is around 1.99 millimeters. Now that's pretty good given, right, this is a budget phone, and to be fair, it has really good viewing angles, and for most people that have a case, your case is gonna cover a little bit of that anyway. So whatever they have currently is really, really nice, and the display is awesome. It feels really nice in the hand, and I honestly, the edges feel really good. But again, I always use a phone case, so again, I'm not really that used to just a naked phone, but this feels really good in the hands. The corners don't bite into my palms. Certain phones that are more square and rectangular, they bite into, you know, the corner of your fingers up here when you're holding it and your palms. So this does not do that. It feels really cushy and feels really, really nice. Now the screen is very responsive, and let's brighten it up. Let's turn up the brightness. Now the peak brightness, by the way, is going to depend on a couple things, right? It's gonna depend on, you know, your manual mode is obviously not gonna get as high as adaptive brightness. When you're out in the sun, it's gonna reach a peak of 1900 nits. Now, usually for manual mode, you'll probably get about 500 nits. So we'll be able to test out the brightness of this phone using this tool right here. All I have to do is place it right over. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, it already turned itself down. All right, so we have the white screen right here, and we're just gonna put it over. Oh, sorry. Let me change this. So we're getting about, let's turn it back to full right here. So we're getting about 700 nits on peak brightness. Now, compared to my S23 FE, this is really good because the S23 FE can only handle about 500 nits of manual brightness. So this is really good. Let's turn off. Yep. So as you can see, we're hitting about 700 nits. That's fantastic. For manual mode, most phones out there only have it around 500. So that's really great. Now, in terms of performance, I'm gonna put up the benchmarks right here. So on Intuitu bench, we hit about 1 million, right? Geekbench, we hit about 6,200. And for 3D Mark Wildlife, it has a score of 1,357. Now, these performance benchmarks are with the new Exynos chip, right? So, you know, it's a change that Samsung's making, and you know, we might see further improvements in the future. It really depends on, you know, how Samsung is adjusting their software to this new CPU. Now, in terms of gaming, we'll have to come back to that, but this chip should be a powerhouse for gaming. It should be fantastic. I'll make a separate video on gaming because gaming is just such a different thing that I can't really do on your first impression and your first unboxing. It would really be not the best test. Now, in terms of battery life, this device has up to 27 to 28 hours of video playing, and about realistically less than 20, about 15 hours of actual use. Now, that is under normal conditions. Of course, you can always turn on battery saving mode here. And let's see, let's go into it. So there's a couple features always. As you can see, you have to turn off your always on display, limit CPU speed by 70%, decrease brightness. All these things are going to decrease your power usage and extend your battery life. Now, in my case, I usually don't use it, so it's just something I don't do anymore. Now, in terms of camera, let's try out the camera on Mr. Chicken here. Okay, so it has a 50 megapixel camera here, and it has a lot of AI features. So this comes with, like I mentioned, a lot of AI focused tools to improve camera quality and just general usage of the phone. So we can go into here. As you can see, there is a Galaxy AI. It comes with a bunch of things: photo assist, drawing assist, photo ambient wallpaper, call assist, chat assist, interpreter for live translation, note assist, transcripts, browsing, health, and everything. So there is this tool that allows you to essentially, you know, use it. You're gonna have to sign in, but in terms of it, this phone is quite well. As you can see, the quality of it is very, very well. I actually really like that. I'm genuinely surprised that it did so well. Let's try to get a super close up here. Wow, that's very good quality. Now let's kind of look through here. It has a 50 megapixel main camera, and in terms of video quality, it goes up to 8K 30. It has Ultra HD 60 and 30, Full HD 60 and 30, as well as HD 30. Now, I typically use Ultra HD with 60 frames just because it gets those really, really crisp and smooth videos that you wouldn't get on 8K 30. So let's see. Very nice. So, a couple things about this phone in general. Overall thoughts. This phone starts at $649. Let me repeat that again. $649. Are there cheaper phones out there? Yes. But you are getting, right, essentially all the specs of essentially, right, a flagship phone for $649. Let's take a look at some of the competition, right? The S20 begins at a price of $859. The iPhone 16 begins at $799, right? Those phones are essentially, right, $200 more than this. This has essentially all the features that those phones would have, those flagship phones. But in this fan edition, right, we get the best of both worlds. We get a really solid price, and Samsung has put in a lot, right? You got to remember, the S23 fan edition, prior to that, all of those had like plastic back screens. The build quality was not there. It was the bezels. It didn't feel nice. And this time they have really upped the build quality on this phone, like tremendously. So I'm actually really impressed, right? I mean, this thing is gonna go toe to toe with the S24 Plus, which is, by the way, $999, a whopping $350 more expensive. And it goes toe to toe, right, with even the Ultras, even the Pro Maxes, because it has good enough quality. Everything on this phone has hit that mark of that's pretty dang good, right? Again, for a price tag of $650. Now, there are areas that they did skimp on, right? One is storage, right? 128 gigabytes is not enough in 2024. It is not enough, but you got to take into account all the other things, right? You're getting the latest firmware, right? You're getting the latest software. You're getting a top tier chip, a top tier screen. Is it the best screen? No. But overall, it's very, very good. So with that said, just me, I recommend this phone. This is a Titan killer. This is a Titan killer for $650. It does everything. It does everything, and it does it really good. I mean, why would you even buy S24? Why would you even buy, iPhone 16 when you're getting the bare minimum? You're so far back, and this is already ahead of you for $650. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but this is a really solid phone. I think it is chicken approved. With that said, I'll see you guys next time. Hit that like button, please. It really, really helps. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.